Hello and welcome back to the Impression Wiz channel. I'm your host, the Impression Wiz, and welcome back to Pester Quest, the second half where we're playing the female characters of the trolls so far, so we can finally get to the alpha kids. And we're to Nepeta after the mindfuckery that was Aradia's time traveling. I really hope we don't have more of that ahead of us, because we only have two female characters left in the beta session. We have Nepeta and we have Feferi. Then we move on to the alpha, which so far we only have 4, but I don't know if we're going to the trolls with, or if we're just going to be finishing off with those 4. And I guess I'll find out. But until then, let's go to the lioness girl in Alternia. That's a hard thing to say. Time to face facts. Something is going on here. Not that you didn't already know that. You've had the blurry outlines of all these strangeness for a long time. It's only after your stint with Aradia that you've managed to fill in all the shapes and colors. Your friends, the companions you've been to hell and back with, you forgot about them. That feels like, you can't even come up with a significantly dramatic mixed metaphor. It feels bad. Your desperate friendship thirst was compelled. You get that. And it was mostly worn off by now. But what the fuck else are you supposed to do? It's basically just your job now, so you have to keep doing that job. Whatever, let's just do the damn route. Who did Aqueous tell you about? His Moirail? Right. Or his Moirail, right? You go try to find her in the middle of the woods, which is a very normal thing to do. You'll be normal. It's a normal kind of day. And I am human. You zap to a mouth of a cave and are immediately set upon by a wild beast. Yellow eyes flashing and sharp teeth glitter. You brace yourself to be made into dinner. The wild lioness sits back on her haunches and contemplates the stranger. That's how Nepeta would be talking. I just thought about that. The wild lioness sits back on her haunches and contemplates the stranger. And I apologize for bad Nepeta, because I can't. I would roll my R's if I could, but I can't that well. Stranger. It is only a flip, not really a roll, so please be gentle on me on that, okay? That's how you know she does that. She tells you. But taking a closer look, you realize that she is in fact not a wild lioness, just a very unkempt troll in a green coat and grubby t-shirt. She smells like a fire pit. AC licks her snout, tries to figure out who has happened upon her den. A friend? A foe? Dinner, perhaps? Like I said, I can't do the stupid purring thing that I know she would do. The troll girl licks her lips, and you realize that even though she is not some bloodthirsty predator, she does have very sharp canines and clawed gauntlets on her little hands. She's small, but with trolls, you've discovered the hard way that size does not translate into a 1-to-1 strength ratio. You tell her that you are a friend. Definitely a friend. And not at all the sort of friend you playfully fight with and then accidentally eviscerate, because you never know with trolls. The girl whose name you have a sneaking suspicion might be Nepeta. Nepeta. Okay, I say Nepeta differently when I'm talking as Equius, I will be honest. So, me saying Nepeta in my own voice versus Nepeta, it'll be different, so that's just how my voice works. Scratches at her chin, her fingers curled up like a paw. Your worries that she's going to put her eye out with those claws. AC wrinkles her nose and wonders what anyone would be doing all the way out here in the wastes. It's not very plausible. That one was a bit of a stretch. How did you come upon my cave? AC says with a growling glower. Play along or stop this nonsense? Honestly, I think play along is probably the one that's going to do the thing. And I think stop this nonsense is probably going to not do the thing. And you know me, I like to try and find the fails first. But that doesn't always succeed because you never know when the fails are going to be the successes and the successes are going to be the fails. So, stop this nonsense. You tell Nepeta that you will happily explain to her exactly who you are and what you're doing sulking outside her cave. But could the two of you maybe key down the drama, talk like normal people? You've been down this road before and it's kind of bringing back painful memories. Oh. Nepeta leapfrogs off of you and a distinct olive flush crossing the bridge of her nose. Wow, you didn't mean to embarrass her, just a productive convo doesn't seem possible if one of you is pretending to be a lion or whatever. Nepeta nods jerkingly, her gaze is firmly fixed on the boulder a few feet to the right of you, her body language, which moments ago had you wanting to zap for cover to protect both your dignity and internal organs, is now stiff and wary. She looks even smaller than before. She mouths something that you can't quite catch, then she turns tail and scuttles back into her cave. God damn it, Nepeta, wait. You hurry after her, but you stop at the sound of a deep, resonant growl. There's something in the cave, and it's definitely not a kid playing a game. See, I knew it was going to be the bad ending this time. I mean, I think that she'd maybe want to, at least kind of be careful, because the role-playing might... I mean, I'm one of those people that I wouldn't want to bring up more pain to somebody if I happen to remind them of someone that does do that. But the pet is also kind of a small thing and is easily heartbroken. So here we are. And I didn't really want to heartbreak her either. So we are going to load up again and play along. Honestly, it is fun to kind of play along with Nepeta stuff, though. Or at least I've seen playing along with her as Equius in Homestuck. So actually getting a chance to kind of play along with it is going to be fun. I think. Honestly, I think Nepeta's like awfully cuddly and adorable in some cases. And this first line's going to be, honestly, what I feel like a fairly big lie about me, personally, but it just so happens that you are an expert RPer. There it is. And by expert, you mean you once played Soldier Purrbeasts with a stressed-out Jadeblood kid, which you'd forgotten about until literally yesterday. Anyway, what you mean is, you've got some moves. You go limp and show Nepeta your throat, yielding to who is clearly the alpha female here. You barely even role-playing, you're barely even role-playing here. Every olive blood you've met could rip out your intestines and wear them as a shawl. Nepeta beams down at you before remembering that she is a regal lioness. AC nuzzles the strange little cub and welcomes them to her cave. Okay, oh. Appearing to realize that she doesn't need to describe her actions out loud because you are right in front of her, Nepeta nuzzles you gently with the top of her head. You get the feeling she doesn't get out much. Oh, Nepeta, I would so very much help. You tell her that you didn't mean to startle her or anything. You just think you might have a mutual friend. A big indigoed blood named Aqueous. Nepeta digs her nails into your arm. Her eyes go wide. You know Aqueous? How? Where did you meet him? Ah, that made my ear tickle. Not hurt, but tickle. It was weird. Ever do that? Like, you have something in your, like, ear that tingles your ear and makes it itchy? Anyway, tell me everything. Her thing is hard to do because I can't do the R-rolling thing. Well, it's kind of a funny story. Before you can get into it, Nepeta launches herself off of you and scampers into the cave, when she runs her knuckles occasionally touching the ground. You aren't sure if she moves like that naturally or if she is just very, very in character. Maybe a little bit of both, I would say. She pauses at the mouth of the cave and gestures you inside, the sleeve of her coat flopping down past her wrists. If you had parents, they probably would have taught you not to follow catgirls into caves, but you didn't, so you're totally down. Oh, the shipping walls. Wonder how they're affected now not being part of the game. Anyway. The cave is small and chilly. Several animal pelts cover the cavern floor, from creatures too large to be wolves but too shaggy to be bears. Maybe some sort of wolf bear? All of the furniture is hewn from stone. The recupercoon formed from a natural hollow in the rock. Aw, poor Dwayne. Having this little cat girl bust out of him. Okay. All of the hives you've spent time in, or out of all the hives you spent time in, this one is the most rustic. You wonder why. Nepeta isn't a high blood, but she's currently not a low blood either. She would have made a hive at least as nice as Tavros's. Or she could have. AC welcomes the strange cub into her den and invites them to sit down wherever they please. She realizes that her visitor is probably sleepy and hungry. Luckily, AC has a fresh kill. Oh, great. That is really lucky. Nepeta skips back outside, leaving you alone and feeling, well, like you followed a feral child into her cave. Torchlight burnishes shapes strange and foreboding. The irregular flicker disorienting. People used to do everything by firelight. No wonder medieval art is so preposterous. Dogs with the faces of old men and old men with the faces of babies. And speaking of art, drawings pepper the cave walls. Shaky and crude, although you don't even... Michael fucking Angelo. That is actually not how you would... I don't think that's how you would spell Michael from those times. But that might just be me. Could do much with a canvas like this. The pictures seem to depict Nepeta and various other trolls, some of who you think you recognize. You see Karkat's nubby little horns and Equus's broken one. A few pictures have been viciously scratched out. A couple of the self-portraits of Nepeta also feature a large, sleek, white cat. You wonder if that's her huntersona? Lionsona? Whatever. Then you hear a growl behind you and realize, oh, right, Nepeta has a Lucis. Oh, kitty kitty! With 2 mouths. Oh boy. Hot, damp breath touches the back of your neck and you turn slowly and as carefully as you can. Oh, hello, kitty. 2 hissing mouths open in 2 snarls as a big cat backs you against the cavern wall. Oh, Pounce, stop that, silly kitty. This is a friend. Nepeta hurries back inside, throwing herself onto her Lucis and petting rambunctiously, pronouncing hisses. Pounce's hisses immediately turn to purrs. She rolls onto her back and bats big, terrifying paws in the air. Oh, who's a good kitty? Who is the very best kitty? Pounce, we have a guest for dinner. They know Equius. You do, right? Nepeta looks at you with sharp little eyes. You do know my meow rail. You weren't lion. Okay, you're really forcing these puns, Nepeta. Oh boy, we probably will have to deal with fish puns with Theferi, though. I didn't think about that. Oh boy. Anyway. Oh, definitely not. You would never lion. You'll never forget Equius, no matter how hard you try. Although you did recently forgot every single person you ever knew. That will absolutely never happen again, though. You won't allow it. You're too strong. AC leaves her weird friend in the very capable paws of her Lucis while she goes to prepare a delicious meal. Oh damn, Nepeta, please don't go away and leave your guest alone with a ferocious beast. But Pounce seems pretty well placated by Nepeta's insistence that you are a friend and not food. She curls up on one of the animal pelts, tucking her head. Her tail twitches and her ears flick. You're pretty sure she's only pretending to sleep, like she's giving you a shot, and if you fuck up, it's lunchtime. I could see that. You sit very still and try your best to look unthreatening. Just a little while ago, this would have been easy. You've been totally defenseless and thinking the most unthreatening thoughts, but now you remember at least a little of who you were, and you know what you've done. Even if some of it was done in dead-end timelines that never actually came to pass. You're not sure you can still call yourself an innocent bystander. Nepeta derails this dangerous train of thought by dragging in a huge haunch. That's just really the only word for it. A haunch. Something's leg. Wow. When she said she had a fresh kill, you figured that was part of the RP, like she was just going to pull out a DiGiorno's or something like that. But nope, she really did tear apart some animal and bring you its leg. She has blood smeared all over her cheek, her hair in pieces across her sweaty forehead. You get why she and Equius get along. They have an equivalent ferocity. Good thing you aren't a vegetarian. Ironically, Equius is. You are gratified to discover Nepeta appears to draw her roleplay line at devouring raw meat. You wonder if trolls could eat raw meat, or if it could make them sick. Honestly, if it might depend on the animal too. I mean, it could be like with steak, if you have it just right, you can have a medium rare, or even some kinds of hamburger or ground beef, but where chicken and pork are no-goes for trying to eat them raw. Usually. I have heard of places where they do try to do that, but I don't feel safe doing that. Not where I'm from. Anyway, they definitely seem to be more natural predators than humans are, but then again, most of them live in houses and eat cup noodles and play video games. You never really met anybody like Nepeta. You watch her build a fire and then take herself on a little trip to the mouth of the cave while she cuts up the meat and smears it on steaks to cook. Or spears it on steaks. I'm sorry. You come back over to the fire when the meat looks a little bit less like flesh and more like food. Honestly, it shouldn't bother you. You've seen and been through so much worse. Guess the mind is a strange and many-layered beast. That is true. There you are. I thought you ran out into the waste like a big, powerful idiot. It's dangerous out there. Did I miss some kind of a choice here? I don't think I did. My bad. Okay, okay. That was a little weird. I thought something happened there. Real quick though. I still have time. Back. Well, she went out there, although it's possible she's dangerous too. That makes Nepeta smile. She still can't quite meet your eyes, but she's fidgeting with her gauntlets less than she was before. So you really met Equius? Really? She slides up close to you, almost too close to talk comfortably. You wonder if this is the first conversation she's ever had that wasn't through a computer screen. You tell her that yes, really, you've met him. You spent a good amount of time with him, too. That's incredible. Bleh. I've never seen that silly guy hang out with anybody before. Except for maybe Vriskers. Vriskers? Oh, does she mean Vriska? You know her too. Really? Yep, you would probably be hanging out with her right now if she hadn't gone off to do some Antifa shit with Terezi. You know Terezi too? GC? Oh yeah, for sure. Does Nepeta? You're expecting her to exclaim and wag her imaginary tail. Instead, she goes quiet. Fat pops and sizzles in the fire. Across the cave, Pounce lets out a lazy squeak that sounds like it came from a much smaller cat. You ask Nepeta if everything is okay. So what you're saying is, you know all of my friends? Well, that's not exactly what you said. It is kind of creepy if you dwell on it, but you keep meeting people through other people. That's normal, right? Well, you did just happen upon Vriska on a beach, and Aradia found you asleep in a field. You haven't asked Nepeta if she knows Aradia, but you are sure that she does, somehow. Slowly, Nepeta lifts her gaze from the flames and meets your eyes for the very first time. Maybe it's the firelight or the shadows gabolting on the walls, but she looks haunted, hollowed out, and filled with something you can't name. What are you? Nepeta may be goofy and playful and awkward. That doesn't make her an idiot, and you get the idea that treating her like one is a very good way to have a very bad time. Anyway, that doesn't... I actually think that this is probably going to be That is not what I wanted to do. This is actually going to be the place I think I am going to stop the recording for now. I know it's a bit of a shorter one, but I feel we might be getting into something kind of big here. I do think deflecting is not the right choice, and I'm probably going to do it. But I want to save some of this stuff for next time. Because I think when we finally get to explaining, it might get to a longer conversation. So for right now, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please put a like on the video. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss anything I upload. And as always, I will see you tomorrow.